Our thriller starts off with the ident of our film production company, which we have carefully chosen to name New Horizon. We chose this name as the horizon is something which changes daily, meaning the company doesn't just stick to producing the same genre of film. Moreover, new implies that the film is fresh and exciting. We got our inspiration from the big guns, Universal's ident of the globe. Both idents involve imagery of the Earth, however, Universal is more symbolic as it is used to show how films under this production are available to all. We developed this idea by just showing the light of the horizon, which is in black and white, in order for it to fit in with the thriller genre convention. Our ident is followed up by a statistic related to the content of the film. We used this in order to draw the audience's attention in, as the quote, "Revenge is a dish best served cold" does at the start of Kill Bill. Again, we stuck to the colour scheme of black and white in order for it to fit in with the rest of the film and ensure continuity. Here we use an overhead shot of Emily rummaging through articles and pictures, both which are typical conventions of a thriller, to show her obsessive behaviour over trying to discover who killed her parents. We got our inspiration for the use of articles from the opening of Seven, where short clips are used to show obsessive behaviour, a prominent symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder, something which Emily herself suffers from. To highlight Emily's disorder, we chose to use this shot of her waking up from a nightmare as poor sleeping as a symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder. We took our idea from Charlie in Perks of Being a Wallflower, as he suffers from frequent blackouts due to post-traumatic stress. A common convention used in thriller films is a fast-paced running scene or chase, which is usually filmed using shortcuts, such as the chase and the embassy scene of The Bourne Identity, as they create tension. We use this in a similar way to get the reaction from the audience in order for them to feel uneasy and worried about the protagonist. The establishing shot used in Face Off of the playground lures the audience into a false sense of security, as the carousel is typically associated with fun. However, in later events we learn that it soon becomes a murder scene. Moreover, we decided to use the establishing shot of a church to do the same thing and connote safety, as it will contradict future events. We chose to dress Emily in white, as it is the colour which is typically associated with innocence and purity. Characters such as Shelley from Sin City and the Bride from Kill Bill are both seen to be wearing white. This is a typical convention of the thriller genre which we've applied to our opening, as it usually counteracts the colours the villain wears, such as Jackie in Sin City, who wears black. We decided to use a point of view shot to put the audience in a position of a character in the scene, like we see in Face Off when the protagonist is targeting his victim. We developed this further as we showed the point of view from both the protagonist and antagonist. We use this to allow the audience to understand both storylines. The use of a close-up on the feet in Kill Bill inspired us to use a similar shot in order to create an uneasy atmosphere for the audience. We also kept the diegetic sound of the shoes on the floor to add to this, as heels on the floor are the only diegetic sound in the whole of the opening. We developed this idea further by dressing the character in high-heeled boots to represent the antagonist as being a female, a convention which doesn't typically abide to the usual codes of a thriller. Black clothing is a typical convention of a thriller and is usually worn by the villain. We chose to make our antagonist wear a black glove, as it would add to the hidden identity and overall mystery surrounding their persona. We took inspiration from Jigsaw Man, where Michael Caine's character is seen wearing black gloves. In Face Off, the use of point of view is used when filming from Castor Troy's point of view as he watches over the father and son in the fairground. This creates tension, as it is typically a place associated with happiness and security. We applied this by filming Emily from the antagonist's point of view from behind her to build tension in the church, a place which again is associated with safety. We chose to give Emily the prop of a photograph, as it is a typical convention of a thriller, as it shows a link between the characters. We used the picture to establish an emotional relationship between Emily and the audience. We took our inspiration from the film Memento. Following this convention, we chose to give both the antagonist and protagonist the same picture, the only difference being that the defaced picture is in the possession of the figure in black. This highlights how they both have a similar obsession, but Emily's photograph is used to show her love for her family and how she misses them, and the antagonist has the picture as a form of memorabilia. The fact that the mother's is defaced implies that she is now out of the picture and Emily is the next target. We took inspiration for this shot from the numerous amounts of defaced images that appear in the Seven opening, as it created a tense atmosphere of impending doom. As mentioned before, a typical convention of a thriller is to have the villain dressed in dark colours, usually black, to imply that they have a dark demeanour, such as the likes of Castor Troy in Face Off. Moreover, by showing both the antagonist and protagonist in the same shot, you can see the contrast between them, like in Sin City, where Jackie Boy and Shelley's clothing colours contrast on their own. We chose to show this in a similar way by having Emily and the mysterious figure in the same shot, with the figure in black behind her in the shadows to accentuate her as the villain. The shot at the end of our film was inspired by Shelley from Sin City when she turns around while she's being on the floor. The high angle makes her seem vulnerable. We challenged this by shooting Emily from a straight-on angle at eyeline level to make sure that the audience felt the same way as her and not sorry for her. Lastly, our end title was inspired by the distorted writing in Seven. We kept to the black and white theme, however, with our main storyline being about stalking, hence the name Shadow, we chose to apply a shadowing effect to our font to further the theme of the thriller storyline.